And you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Some of us might not make it as business people out of this crisis. People are dying, people are losing money, potentially businesses going out of business, and all these kind of major things around the world. So it's, unprecedented. If you're on lockdown and you're home, what are the things you can be doing to better your business in the long term? So let's think not just with this week, next week, this month, even though we need to think about that because we all have bills. Some of us have employees and other responsibilities. But we can get ourselves in the mindset of what do we do with this time that's going to better our business and our lives 1, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, 1, 2, 3, 5 years down the road. And there's some practices and there's some things we can be thinking about. There's a lot of you guys out there work for somebody else and you're just laid off. But what are the things that you can do? How can you help your boss? I mean, because you want your boss to be successful, right? You want the business owner to come out of this strong. So reach out to him and say, hey, Joe, Bob, I don't know, Ricky. What are those things you can do what are some things I can do to help you? Maybe it's coming to the shop and working on some stuff, maybe it's helping him call customers, maybe, whatever it may be. But you can be of use, even though you might not get paid. But think about it this way, the more you help them now, the potential for having a job later. Also, so if you are a business owner, some things you could be doing is calling your customers. I mean, I've run across window cleaners in my area who I spoke with over the years, and we've had these conversations. And I asked them, do you reach out to your annual residential customers, and do you set them up for a follow up each year? Or you just wait for them to call you? And he's like, I just wait for them to call me. That's how I handle things. And I'm like, oh, okay. So there's some guys out there that don't really call back residential customers. And maybe that's a smaller part of their business. And maybe they're focusing more on route work. But if you're not calling back your residential customers, man, I tell you, it's a game changer. So I've been doing that for years. I call them back every spring, every fall. And I say, hey, Barb, this is Ray. I just calling to get you on the books for this spring. You wanted April, May, what are you thinking? And we'll set something up. And they love it and they appreciate it. And it gets me that reoccurring revenue every year and twice a year for some people. I spent a lot of time in 2019 focused on the product side of things and not as much on my actual window cleaning business. So there's a lot of follow-up phone calls I didn't make, and I noticed the huge drop in business when I wasn't calling those customers to remind them to make an appointment. So if you guys aren't doing that, man, just say, listen, hello, Barbara, this is Ray, or whatever your name is, and how can we help you? Now, let me backtrack that. You're not going to say that, right? So you're going to call them. You're going to say, hey, I'm just reaching out to you in this crisis and just want to know how you're doing. I know you're a great customer and I'm just concerned for all my customers. I want to reach out and just say hi and know that we're still around. And if you need any kind of service, we're available. And then you can say in there, we're doing disinfectant services. We're wearing our masks and all kind of mitigation protective wear. And also just be like, listen, I know this is a crazy time, but once the crisis dies down, we'd love to come back and clean your house up. Because I know it's going to look bad, and I know you're going to need to be sanitized and clean. So call them, reach out to them. Another good thing is something I've done with my customers for years is helping them to understand how to clean their own windows. I know we don't always want to do that because we think, oh, well, I'm going to lose business. No, you're not going to lose business. You're actually going to gain respect with your customers. So a lot of my customers, they're 50 to late 60s, and they don't want to be cleaning windows, but they don't want to have me there every month either. It's not the UK, right? Sorry, UK guys. They want me to come once a year, maybe twice a year. But meanwhile, they have sliding doors that are just getting really dirty, dog faces on it and noses on it, young kids marking up windows and stuff, and they want to maintain it in between cleans. So sometimes in those cases, I just show them how to very easily maintain their windows. I show them, this is a microfiber towel. Get a couple of these. All you gotta do is, get a little bucket and dilute it with some dish soap. Wash that window down with a dish soap. Get some dry microfiber cloths, lint-free ones, and then just wipe it down. And that's gonna do a million times better than you're gonna do with a squeegee, because if you don't have the proper technique or the proper squeegee blade, it's just gonna look terrible. So don't even bother trying to use a squeegee. You're gonna use Windex and a rag, or Windex and hand towels. It's not gonna look good either. This is the best technique, and my customers love it. And so they can maintain their windows in between my services. So call them, reach out to them, say, hey, I want to teach you a little technique you guys can do. In the meantime, while you're waiting for this to blow over and before I can come out, you guys can get some of those interiors looking presentable. This is how you do it. Hey, listen, you could even try to supply them with microfiber towels. Like, hey, I can get you some really high quality microfiber towels. Let me know. I'll put an order in for you, or I have them and I will give them to you. Whatever, I'll ship them to you. Whatever. And it's just really good customer service, and it's caring about your customers. And that's the most important thing, because when they know that you care and they know that you're invested in them, they won't go somewhere else. So I have relationships with customers who, I go there and I feel like sometimes I waste time there because I'm hanging out with their dog, petting their dog, talking to them, talking about their kids. I'm like, I've been with them for so long. I've seen their kids go from, middle school to high school to college, which is crazy. So it's just taking that time and caring for your customers. Also, another really good thing that you can be thinking about doing for your business is there's a lot of back end stuff that we kind of forget about and gets lost in the day-to-day shuffle of being a window cleaner. So you're always out there, we're on the job, doing estimates, following up on payments from customers, all these kind of day-to-day stuff. But we forget about the long-term thinking. We forget about back-end stuff sometimes. Excuse me. There's the problem with doing this first thing in the morning. I need my coffee. So we forget about these kind of things, and we need to be thinking about our sometimes long term. So one thing you can do is sit down and make a list. Make a list of things that you want to see change in your business. Say, okay, this coming year, after this crisis, what are some of the things I want to see change? I've been really meaning to fix some of my equipment. Take your home. Take the time. Go out and clean up all your poles. Reattach your hoses. Put new hoses on. Organize your van, your truck, whatever it is. Put tools in the right place. Make stuff for your tools to be in the right place. Make systems. Oh man, systems are so important, right? So, especially if you have employees, creating systems and creating, step-by-step systems is essential, because then you can that it should be getting done properly, because you say, okay, well, this is, A equals B equals C, and so forth. I mean, it's not going to be robotic. There's always going to be variations and changes, but it's a standard to live up to for your workers. So, start creating systems. Another good thing is, are you still using traditional handwritten invoices and stuff like that? And do you want to change into a good CRM, some kind of really good platform to handle your receipts and your invoices and your customers? And it's really great to just send them that email invoice or the text invoice, or pay through credit card, or certain things like that you can really just take the time to set up now if you haven't done that already. Also, go through your equipment and say, okay, well, I want to be ready for when things hit. A lot of retailers, resellers are, doing sales and doing promotions, and maybe you can get some really good deals on equipment now to be ready for when things take off. And some of you guys may have already ordered that, and and then the crisis hit, or some of you haven't. So maybe you can get some really good deals on squeegee blades, on squeegees, on rags, on whatever. And knowing some of the resellers out there, even if they're not running a promotion, contact some of the sellers and say, hey, listen, I want to order stuff. What kind of deals can you give me? I'm sure they're going to work with you. And what else? Some other things that you can do as a business owner. Is start making goals for yourself. Say, okay, where do I see this business in the next 5 years? Okay, in the next 5 years, I want to have 2 trucks. How am I going to get the 2 trucks? Then you're going to say, okay, these are the goals and these are the methods I'm going to use to get the 2 trucks. And you just systematically go through and you make that process. And with this downtime, it's going to help you to do that. It's going to help you. It's going to give you the time to start thinking long term, to start thinking beyond today and tomorrow's appointment and next week's appointment, and just really think about the direction of your business. So I want to encourage you guys to do that, and don't take it and don't take for granted that time at home and just spending it, binging Netflix or woe is me or whatever it is. I feel bad for people who are serious sports fans right now. I have some friends that that's all they do, man. It's just morning, noon, and night. It's just breathe, think, eat, March Madness, NBA, NFL, whatever it is, they're there. I have an uncle that, every time I go to his house, man, it's you will never see anything on the television but sports, whether, it can't be anything. It can't even be a sport that he doesn't like, and it'll be on. So I feel bad for those guys, but you can't live in that misery, right? So this is a great opportunity to say, hey, I can't watch these things, so why don't I just, better my future? And you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Some of us might not make it as business people out of this crisis. Some of us might end up being, come out of this and like, I've lost 50% of my route work. Some of my residential customers maybe passed away, or maybe don't have the funds to pay me. So you might come out of this really hurting, and it's going to happen. I mean, it's a numbers game. Some of us are going to survive, and some of us aren't. And unfortunately, the ones that are probably going to do the best are the ones who have some money in the bank and who can have that cushioning and that buffer to survive this time. But if you're one of those guys who don't make it out of it as a business person, listen, there's going to be tons of window cleaning business out there, and you can find a job. And you can find a job, and then you can build your business again. Because this is not forever. This is a temporary thing, and this is something that's going to change the way we do business, the way we think, the way we do things as a people. I mean, if you think about what happened in the Great Depression, I'm not comparing to this Great Depression because it's a totally different situation, similarities. But if you think about what happened in the Great Depression, it changed the way a whole generation of people thought about money, thought about work, and resources. So like not my parents were hippie kids, but my parents, and I'm going to go to my father-in-law, who was in that age bracket. Those people think about money in a different way, and they'll squirrel money away, in a pillow somewhere as opposed to putting it in a bank. And I think it's going to do something similar to this generation, especially our kids, and some of us maybe 30 and younger, I'm thinking. And it's really going to change the way we view money, the way we view work, the way we view family and time. The sun's coming in really bad. I guess this is a bad spot. All right, give me a second to close that blind a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. So I just want to kind of encourage you guys and say, start thinking about ways you can develop your business long term. And if you like, what I spoke about, and it's giving you some ideas, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. We'll be doing more videos like this in the weeks to come and the days to come, and more product launches coming soon. Also, we're going to be doing a blog, so that's going to be launching. I'm trying to get a bunch of blogs written at once and then launch it. So it's kind of taking me a little longer than I wanted to. And then we kind of went back and redid some interviews. So if you don't know, we're doing a blog, and it's really going to be based around interviewing people within the industry, whether they're window cleaners, influencers, manufacturers, whatever it is, but just taking the time just to talk to them and get some information, glean some ideas from them, and really start to do the interaction in written form. There's a lot of that going on, on podcasts, while we're doing this in blog style. So we'll be doing that. Hopefully I can get that first blog post out this week, and then the first interview out the following week. And yeah, I'm done ranting. All right, guys.